All right. Well, here we are for the final chapter of our reactions to TANU WEDS MANU. This is part 3 of 3. If you haven't watched the first 2, please watch those before watching this one. Don't just jump to the end. Don't ruin it for yourself. You should watch all of it. Anyway, because you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing a cut-down version of our reaction. We're only allowed to show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. However, if you want to watch the whole film with us without the cuts, without the interruptions, without it being broken up into parts like this, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabyKOAY, or become a member. Only thing is, the only catch is you'll need your own copy of the movie so you can open it up in an adjacent window to our reaction, and it's like you're watching it with 2 of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on page, no, you're not. I just run through my intro all the time. So here we go, back to TANU WEDS MANU, part 3. Boom.
ये दुनिया बहुत सिंपल है तनु, इसके लिए चीजें या तो सही होती हैं या गलत, और तुम अच्छी तरह जानती हो तुम्हारी मेरी क्यों पटती है, क्योंकि मेरे लिए चीजें या तो गलत होती हैं या फिर मेरी। तुम्हारे लिए सब उल्टा होता है। दुनिया बोलेगी सफेद तो तुम बोलोगी काला, तुम्हारे बाबूजी ने बोल दिया हरिद्वार तो तुम्हारे लिए होगा साला नेपाल।
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
शादी करो मुझसे, 4 दिन खाना बना के या तो तुम सुधर जाओगी या 5वें दिन मैं बदल जाऊंगा।
और अगर मैं कहूँ मैं बदल चुकी हूँ
तो मैं नहीं बैठा।
She made a big mess.
Yeah.
Oh, man. She should have let him go when he was about to leave. He was about to bounce out of town. Just like, stay for my wedding.
No, you're pretty sure it's messed up. He's not a gentleman. Ugh, this feels real though. You know? Like you make mistakes and then you're like, oh, damn. Her parents are like, what? What's going on?
अब शर्मा जी ये बताइए, प्यार तो करते हैं हमसे या नहीं? खड़े में इतना रोए, एक बार हमारे हाथ पे हाथ रखकर बोला, या फिर गाल पे? अभी भी खड़े खड़े सोच रहे हो, हाथ रख के कहिए तभी मारेंगे।
What is happening right now? Why?
करते हैं प्यार।
Because she doesn't understand it unless it's the stereotypical. She couldn't see it before. Everyone else could see it. But because he was a nice guy, he didn't touch her.
But it didn't seem like it even mattered. Like she was going to overlook. She didn't want to get married and all that. I guess there's a separation between like this like instant marriage thing and love. So.
Yay!
राजा को क्या कहेंगे?
Her parents are like, oh, damn. Keep creating problems for us.
इतनी रात गए, आप मुझे ये बताने आए हैं कि ये शादी नहीं हो सकती?
अरे अंकल जी, जब लड़की राजी नहीं है तो क्या करिएगा?
अरे तो उसे आप समझाइए।
बच्चों की जिंदगी का सवाल है अवस्थी जी, अगर कल को उनका डाइवर्स हो जाए उससे तो बेहतर है।
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Jimmy Shergill is like scary AF.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I don't want him looking at me like that. This is getting way out of hand.
बहुत कायदे समझा रहे हैं और आखिरी बार समझा रहे हैं। कल बारात लेके तो हम आ रहे हैं, इसलिए जाइए, शादी की तैयारियों में मन लगाइए। कल कोई कमी नहीं आनी चाहिए, समझ रहे हैं? जी। फौरन कट लो सबके सब यहाँ से।
He gets everything that he wants. What, Jaby?
I just feel like you have to be like naive, overpowered to want to still marry her. Like this is such a messy situation. And how do you know she's going to stay like faithful to you after you're married when she's like hop from dude to dude,
right?
Like week to week to week. Like how do you know it's like this is a permanent new direction? I mean,
Power of PR, okay?
Power of what?
PR.
I just
She's never been loved this deeply before. She's never been seen for who she is and accepted and not tried to be put in a box.
Raja was about to marry her. I mean, he's like obviously not a good dude the way he's behaving, but
ऐसा है 2000 हमारे पास है 5000 आप डालें हैं और दरोगा को देके इस राजा के बच्चे को अंदर करवा देते।
Wait, what did it say about Raja?
get him jailed.
Oh.
Well, that was
Oh.
easy.
Okay. Well, you can't get married if you're in jail.
No reasonable suspicion. Just picked him up and threw him in the
This is
jail.
what you can do in Asia, okay? Just pay the cops enough.
एक बात बताएं?
Don't break my bro's heart.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. You could totally dance like this.
Yeah, I've watched 2 seasons of Mirzapur, so I'm like a little bit scared right now.
Whoa, 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 bro. Uh-oh.
He didn't stay. He didn't stay in jail long
You
enough.
didn't stay
Apparently.
in jail. Oh no. Oh no, there's 2 parties going on. Oh no. Oh no, which one you got? Oh no.
It's not the most ideal of circumstances to be getting married under, but what the hey?
Choose. Pick one.
Choose your destiny.
Yeah.
TANU MANU.
That's right.
अरे इंस्पेक्टर साहब कहाँ हैं आप?
मनु भैया
इधर बवाल हो रहा।
आप यहीं रहो। अरे आप कहाँ इधर आ गए?
Oh god. Oh, uh-oh. Oh dude, you just got married.
पर आप रो क्यों रही हैं?
मनु मुझे बाइक चलानी आती है।
पर मुझे नहीं आती। और वैसे भी तनु जी, अब पीछे बैठने का टाइम गया।
Oh yeah.
You're ruining your makeup, girl. Stop crying.
He's like, "Hey baby, I'm stepping up. I'm stepping up." What are you gonna do? Like fight?
Oh, that's not his style.
No, I know.
उस दिन तुम तनु को ले गए, मैं चुप रहा, क्योंकि मुझे वही सही लगा। आज मैं ले जा रहा हूँ, तुम वही करना भाई जो तुम्हें ठीक लगे।
Oh god, is he gonna get shot?
There's 2 movies, ACHARA.
आज तो मैं तनु को लेके ही जा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि अगर मैं डर गया तो गोली खाऊंगा, और अगर नहीं डरा तो भी गोली खानी है।
तुमको भी ऐसा लगता है कि हम गोली नहीं चलाएंगे?
राजा मैं तो मन्नू जी के डर से डर रही थी, वरना डरती तो मैं किसी के बाप से भी नहीं।
Damn. Okay. You're both just super sassy right now. What's he gonna do?
इस कहानी में आप बन गए राम, ये बन गई सीता, बचे हम रावण ही सही। पर क्या करते? वादा जो कर चुके थे कि बारात लेके तो हम आ रहे हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पिछले ही चौराहे पे हमको अपना एक और वादा याद आया।
That's right.
आप जिस लड़की को चाहते हैं उसी से शादी करवाएंगे आपकी।
Yeah, so you were right. He's not that bad.
Did you just put a gun in somebody's face?
This is, a little bit violent.
अगर ये इतने भले इंसान ना हो, आप इनके प्यार में ईमानदार ना होते, तो भोलेनाथ की कसम गोली मार देते इनको। बजाओ ढोल।
Oh, what?
It's the end of the movie, ACHARA.
We get like a super cute dance number. She does have a lot of attitude.
Okay.
What? You're not gonna have
no,
a dance?
No, I'm good on this. All right.
Come on, Jaby.
I'm stopping it right now.
Don't.
3, 2, 1.
Ah.
Before the movie started, I noticed that IMDb said that the score was 6.7 out of 10, and I immediately wonder why that might be not a higher score. And I can see why the people who voted it up. I can see why the people who voted it down. There are things that I appreciated about the story and things that I was not as appreciative of. And I don't know how much of it is necessarily the film's fault and how much of it is just me being a cynic. I came away at the end of it really appreciating Jimmy Shergill, I'll say that much. And I'm not saying that just because he was the first guest I actually had on this channel, like in my home.
Interviewing. We've had plenty.
Literally sat right there.
Yeah.
So
No, just to clarify, we've had plenty of guests, but he was the first in in-person that we've ever done.
First Bollywood interview.
Yes.
First proper one anyway.
Yeah.
In person.
And he was amazing.
He was really nice.
Such a nice guy.
But like, he was my favorite performance in this movie. Like, his monologue at the end, I was like, wow. I think that this whole like back and forth on what he's doing is a little bit weird, but he's making it work somehow.
He did a really good job because, you know, with that type of character, especially with a character that we didn't really spend as much time with, the way he delivered that monologue in every single scene he was in, you could kind of see the layers that he was bringing to the character. So while he's supposed to be, you know, the bad boy, there were still things about him that you could appreciate, like he was honorable and he kept his word, even though
He's a man of his word, yeah.
Yeah, even though he was kind of rowdy and everything,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, I enjoyed his performance as well.
The other thing that I took away from this film is lighting and the shots, just the design of the composition I thought was great. And so I imagine Anand El Rey has a good eye for that. And we also have a cinematographer to thank for that, Chirantan Das, director of photography. I just thought, it's like, if you go back and watch that stuff with Jimmy Shergill at the end and just the lighting on his face with the shadow and then the way everyone's lit in the background, I just thought they did a really good job there. There was a scene at the train station. I was wondering how they pulled that off. I was just like going through it in my mind of like how I would have taken care of that myself if I was having to shoot that scene, because the train station was like hot in terms of exposure. Like the sunlight was beaming down on it, right? And yet you could see our Madhavan perfectly lit. And it wasn't like off-putting, like there was too much light on him, like it was like a set. It was just like perfect. Like it felt like you were just there in terms of perfect exposure with the shadow and the bright spot on his face, and you could still make out the background. They didn't overdo the shallow depth of field, but they used it to great effect with bokeh and whatnot. Just the shot design was just really beautiful. I love that it was shot on film because we don't have film anymore as much. And so yeah, like I just really liked the look of it overall.
You know, talking about like feeling like you're being there, in addition to it just being aesthetically really beautiful, I loved how they shot it. So you felt like you were a part of this wedding, a part of this party, the madness of life and everything that was going on at the same time. And especially as a foreigner who hasn't experienced that in real life, I think, you know, it was really fun to kind of feel really drawn into just kind of the chaoticness of everything that was going on.
They left one stone unturned, and that was Poppy's love interest. That they never got together, but I really liked Poppy as a character. I thought he just had his boys back like nobody's business. I thought that was great.
Him.
Deepak Dobrel is the one who played him, and I thought he did a fantastic job. Kangana Ranaut and our Madhavan as the titular characters. Did I use that phrase correctly?
Yes,
word correctly? I think that they did a really good job of portraying these people. I think that my main issue with the film's twofold. The second half did not move as fast as the first half. The first half just moved along. I'm like, whoa, we're already at the intermission. What's going on? It's so fast. And then the second half came along, and I'm like, oh Lord, it's a little bit of a drag to the end of the movie. But it's because it was having to like get more entrenched in the emotional angle and whatnot after our Madhavan or MANU, you know, is asked to stay behind for her wedding because she's just such a dolt. Her inability to see what is so painfully obvious for most of the movie is just so taxing on my patience.
But
I'm just like, what the hell? Like, it's not as if no one is telling her. PayPal was all up in her face, in her grill, being like, yo, you're dumb. Like, you can't see that this guy's... It's like she didn't even deny it. She was just blatantly ignorant.
Well,
you know?
because she, you know, friend-zoned him so hard. But, you know, before we get into that, because I feel like that's a whole conversation, I do want to say that I did really enjoy Madhavan's performance and Kangana's performance.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
Especially Madhavan, because I thought that his performance was just so understated and you really felt for him. And it was just like in all the little nuances of his acting that you got a sense of the character as being like awkward and uncomfortable in those situations and not being the guy who's gonna, you know, create conflict. He's just there to love and facilitate things. And Kangana was fun because she was just like out there and wild and crazy.
I definitely co-sign on all of that. I agree. Everything you're saying is on point. Their acting was fantastic. I mean, they made what was otherwise kind of a weird script, in my opinion, work very effectively. Yeah. And it's weird only to me because this is representative of the stuff I don't like in American romantic comedies. This is the kind of thing that I always am like, this is exactly why I don't watch these kinds of movies.
Wait, what? Okay, tell me what it is. What do you have a problem with?
It's just so dumb.
But the thing is, I feel like, you know, on our live streams and stuff, we listen to so many guys tell us this story over and over again. Like, I'm in love with this girl.
Let me stop you.
She won't even notice me.
Let me stop you.
Like, how do I make her love me?
Let me stop you. He fell in love with the girl, with this broad, when she was asleep. She wasn't even saying anything to him.
Okay, that was kind of goofy.
She was just out cold, like on drugs. And he's like, wedding's on, totally into this hoe. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, you didn't even have a conversation with her. So I was actually, I mean, maybe the movie's a commentary on romantic comedies in the same way that Frozen was a commentary on Disney's previous movies.
Right.
Like, you fell in love with this guy when you barely even knew him, because that's what, like, the Disney movies often do. And then Frozen kept beating us over the head with, that's stupid. And so trying to, like, make up for, 30 movies that told us what romance looks like. And so the fact that she called it out and made fun of him, I thought was cool. But, like, he completely just, like, sidelined the girl with the goofy hand because he was in love with the girl when... Like, he's in love. I didn't understand why he was in love with her. That's what I think frustrated me. The basis of his interest in her was completely lost on me. Was it just a thing? It was like,
yeah.
I didn't understand. For him to be that obsessed when there was a perfectly nice girl who would have matched his character, when there was perfectly nice girl there, for him to just overlook her because of some girl who was like changing boyfriends once a week, like she changes underwear. Like, I was just very confused by that.
Okay, but his character is a guy who has very little experience. He said so himself. Like, he spent all his time doing the right thing, studying, getting the right job, doing the right profession, going to work, not really socializing with friends and stuff like that. So, suffice to say, perhaps he has never had a girlfriend before, and he saw a girl. Just put yourself back into your mindset as a young teenager. Have you never seen a girl and been like, wow, that's the one, before you had more experience and realized that was not a good idea?
Yeah, and I would have gone for the girl with the goofy hand. That's me.
Yeah, that's you. But this is Manu. You know, he fell in love with TANU, and she was like his complete opposite, which was a breath of fresh air for him, because his whole life has been, stuffy and following the rules. And here she's someone who's a complete rebel.
I get it.
And, makes him feel.
I get it.
Alive.
Why though? Why does she make him feel alive? You can't even talk to her.
Because she's unabashedly herself.
But how can someone make you feel alive if you're not having a conversation with them?
In proximity. She shines so brightly that by being close to her, he feels warm.
Oh my God.
He feels the heat. You know what I mean? And
I'm not going to spend this video debating with you the merits of the film, okay? I just thought it was goofy. And I'm like,
I'm just presenting the other side of the argument.
Good for you. I'm saying that the whole premise was a little bit, after a while, it just got to be a little bit silly because they kept playing the same hand over and over again. The whole time. Let me tell you something. What generally happens in real life is what happened to your friend who you used to work with at Yukaku, who was madly in love with your coworker, and he'd buy her flowers and he'd keep doing all these sweet things, and she just was like, he's a friend, and completely, are they married?
No, she married someone else.
She married someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, and so to me, like, there's a possibility of, like, this having the wrong kind of influence on just people, because, like, I don't want guys out there to be like, oh, if I just hang in there. I'm like, no, don't hang in there. Move the fuck on. It's a movie. Don't hang in there. That's poison.
But I think that's what we touched on during the reaction, which is this feels like a fantasy that was made for the dudes who are the nice guys, who treat the girls really well, and the girl doesn't ever notice. And this is the movie that says, you can do all of that and she will notice. Sometimes that happens. I don't want you to be like, oh, you got to go out there and start treating women like shit.
I didn't say that.
That's not the message.
When did I say that? When did I say treat women like shit? I never said that. What I said was move on. Move on to find the girl with the goofy hand. Move on. Like, just move on to the next person, because this one is not interested. Someone else will be. And so, like, it's her loss. Just look at it that way. Like, it was going to be Tanuja's loss, right? Move on. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying be a hoe, a man hoe. I'm not saying do that. Like, I'm saying just move on. Like, you got to keep it moving because, like, you don't want to waste your time. Life is short, yo. Before you know it, you're 40 and you're like, God damn it. I spent all that time hung up on MANU, or TANU rather, and I could have, married the girl with the hand. So
You're so hung up on the girl with the hand.
that's all I'm trying to say. So anyway, I didn't see why, like, she deserved him.
No, I was very frustrated with her character as well because, I mean, we could see how lovely MANU is, right? Like the whole movie, I'm just like, oh my God, MANU is a great guy. He is husband material. Girl, you should put a ring on that and husband that guy right away. But she's silly. So, she's silly, she's impulsive, she doesn't do that. So we spend the whole movie just feeling so frustrated with her because we were like, dude, why can't you see what we see? And yeah, I mean, maybe to a certain extent, I'm like, oh God, like, girl, don't mess this up because he's so nice, and the fear, like you said, is, well, what if she just changes her mind later on?
I really want to watch the sequel to this movie.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what the hell happens after they get married. Because, like, the movie ended right when they were about to walk into the procession for, like, becoming husband and wife. And I'm like, what happens next?
Yeah, that would be very interesting to see how they tackle that.
Because I'm like, yo, they are diametrically opposed personality-wise. Like, it's all cute and fun up until the challenge is over, up until the Jimmy Shergill's out the way. Now what? Like, you have no challenge left. And that's the thing about her is she just strikes me as someone who gets bored really easily. And that would frighten me. I stay away from girls like that, personally. I'm just like, you're just a headache. I can't with you. You too much.
Whereas Manu's like, you're a headache that I want to have for the rest of my life. Because he doesn't know any better.
She got Raja's name tattooed to her. I'm just like, well, all right. Okay, so coming back to the thing you were asking me, like, why do I stay away from films like this in America, is because this is exactly what happens in the movies over here, too. It's like, oh, he was right there in front of me the whole time. He's this nice guy, and I didn't see it. It's like, but that doesn't happen that often in real life. Often women are going after the mistake as hard as they can, and then they just keep doing it. And I'm like, okay. And the nice guy's just like, no one loves me. It's like, move on, dude. You got to grow a pair of balls and ask someone else out. Like, just stop. The movies are messing up romance. That's all I'm trying to say. And American romantic comedies are the worst offender. And this, to me, is taking a page out of that and in order to make this Daisy version. And I'm like, same problem. I'm off my soapbox. That's all I'm saying. I really like the acting, though.
Actually, the acting all around was really good.
I liked the music. I liked PayPal. I liked Anand El Ray's vision, just like aesthetically speaking. I liked how he managed to create a lot of... He had a lot of scenes in the film where there were no words spoken, and I thought that was actually interesting. Now, I don't know if that was a byproduct of the time that this film was made in. I feel like I've seen other films from this era, and I didn't notice that. Like, it's interesting how much silence there was in the film, and I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. And these long takes of just letting the actors act and doing this scene work like it's theater. I thought that was really cool. And so there's a lot, production-wise, that I was invested in this film. I just really, really was frustrated with the premise of the story.
I think that because the acting, especially between Madhavan and Kangana, was so good, like, you just really believe those characters that they are who they're playing in the movie, right? It's so easy to get frustrated because it almost feels like you're watching two friends who are messing things up, and like a part of you wants to shake Manu and be like, dude, she's not the one.
Yeah.
Don't do this. And then another part of you like wants to shake Tanu and be like, are you blind? This guy loves you. You're not going to find someone else who's going to look at you like that and like freaking take you shopping and sit there and for hours while you decide on something. Guys like that don't come around every day.
I'm a little bit conflicted about one thing about the film, because the story never really painted Raja in a bad light until after he found out. But like, I kind of got it. I mean, his reaction, the way he was going about it, wasn't the best. But I kind of get it. I'm like, this dude came in and took your lady. Like,
well, that dude.
That's not fun. I mean, that's not. Excuse me. That's just like. I can understand him being frustrated.
Okay, but also in the beginning, he was the one that asked his friend to beat up Manu before he knew Manu.
Because some dude's just trying to come in and take your lady.
Yeah, but is that a thing that a nice guy does?
No, but I get it. If you had the power, if you could be Jimmy Shergill or Raja, if you had the power to like be like, you just swat away other dudes like flies. That's what cops do. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying, like, if you had that kind of power, you're probably going to exercise it.
Right, but that is a character thing which tells us, the audience, from the beginning, like, hey, this guy is supposed to be the bad guy, right?
Manu is too nice.
He is.
He's too nice.
And then also the movie saying that if you're a nice guy, you will win in the end, because it was his niceness that saved his life, right?
Let me tell you something. You follow this philosophy like through and through, you're going to get your ass handed to you in the real world. You got to be careful. You got to be super vigilant. You got to be like looking over your six and making sure, like, I know that sounds very cynical and pessimistic, but the fact of the matter is the world will chew you up and spit you out if you're too nice. And it's hard for me to believe that Manu got to where he did in the movie. I mean, he kind of like came into his own by the end of the film. You know, he stood up to the dude.
End, yeah.
But like, a man is staring at you with a gun, and he looks serious.
He does, yeah.
I guess I gotta hand it to Manu for standing up to him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if he cacked his pants and, you know, freaked out and ran away, then Raja wouldn't have respected him and probably would have shot him.
You know what, man? That's a dumb gamble.
It is.
It's not worth your life. It's like, you know what, Tanu, why don't we go to London for a week, have a destination wedding?
He couldn't take her away from there, though. They were already there, and Raja was there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you man up now or lose her forever.
Yeah, I don't know. He had his arc. He found a way to stand up to the bully.
In his own way. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give the movie credit for that.
I appreciate that.
I don't feel 100% about his thing. Like, there's a part, maybe I'm just stubborn, but I don't feel 100% about it. But I'm like, I will concede there. Like, he had a bit of an arc there where but like, most of the movie he didn't. Most of the movie he's a big pussy. I'm just like, dude, come on.
That's why I'm saying I feel like this is like the fantasy for a lot of guys out there who are so nice and who want the girl.
Chara, this is still a chick flick, okay? Through and through, it's still a chick flick.
I feel like this is like a dude rom-com.
I feel like I've seen this in America 18,000 times. This is the kind of thing we always see, isn't it? Where the guy is in love with the girl. What is My Best Friend's Wedding? Like, doesn't this thing kind of always happen?
My Best Friend's Wedding is the girl is in love with the guy and she doesn't get the guy in the end.
Okay, I didn't see that movie.
It's an excellent movie. It's a come on,
fine.
guys, in
that
the
was
comments.
A mistake. That was a mistake on my part. Okay, I concede. But you know damn well there's like 18,000 American films that are like that where it works out in the end.
Yeah, there's like 13 going on 30. Another excellent rom-com, which is, you know, kind of like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like it was more about Manu than it was about Tanu.
Outside of Roman Holiday, most of these films end up with the two characters together by the end of the story.
Yeah, that's true. Because like, why would we watch a movie to then, you know, not have them get together?
Like for instance, like Jennifer Lopez's The Wedding Planner. When the trailer came out, I'm like, I already know the end of the film. I'm not watching this. Like, we already know where this is going, right?
We know that they're gonna get married. The movie's called TANU WEDS MANU.
Yeah, way to give away the ending. This isn't like 500 Days of Summer, where it's like, what if maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Yeah.
You know?
You watch it because you want to know the journey. You want to know how they got there, and you watch it because you enjoy that.
I feel bad for Manu. Like, what a manure situation. Like, he's trying to get married to her, and then, like, this dude, the ex shows up with an army of guys with rifles and whatnot. I'm like, damn. I guess it's a memorable wedding if you make it out alive, but goddamn. That's not how I envisioned my wedding.
You're no fun.
That's terrible. What a terrible situation.
Yeah.
How is he going to get that name out of her chest?
Just tattoo Manu over it.
Yeah.
Put a rose on it and then tattoo Manu or something.
It's going to have to be like a fat tattoo.
Yeah, I know.
Over her chest.
Those are so ugly. Yeah, don't tattoo people's names on your body.
Don't ever tattoo someone's name to your body. That's a bad idea.
Unless maybe it's your kid. You're never going to stop loving your child.
I don't know, man. My ex-girlfriend did that. and it was a bad idea. She had regrets. Not because of anything with the kid, but just because it was an absurdly big tattoo.
Oh, that's dumb. Yeah, get a small tattoo.
It was big. She was like, oh shit, the tattoo artist messed up. Anyway.
Oh no, that's the worst.
She wanted it to be like an earring, and it was like that, and it was like all the way down her neck is this big ass tattoo. Most of the time I didn't notice it.
Well, okay, side note. Don't they put it like in ink without actually like tattooing it first? So you look in the mirror and then you're like, oh yeah, I like it.
I don't want to comment on it because it's going to make her look bad. So anyway, leave it at that. I enjoyed a lot of things about the film in the end. I just have a hard time with romantic comedies, especially when they resemble like what I'm familiar with over here. I think that overall, they did a better job with it. Like on average, like if I were to watch your average American comedy, romantic comedy, compared with this, I would probably like this more. There's more to take away from this movie than your average American romantic comedy, because this had a lot more just filmic vibes, you know, between the way it's shot, the way it's lit, the music. We didn't talk about the music.
I enjoyed the music a lot.
And of course the acting and like the pregnant pauses in between everything. I thought there was like some cool stuff that were just very human elements baked into this film that you don't typically get with American romantic comedies. It's just like I struggle with just the premise of the film a little bit. Well, yeah,
because you don't really enjoy romantic comedies that much. I think I really want to see if I can convince you. I may have to do a film series of making you watch some great rom-coms.
Like, okay, this is a movie. Like, it's important for me to remind dudes in the audience that, or people in general, both people. And it's also important for me to remind myself that, because you need a story to tell. I'm just saying, like, in real life, movies can mess with our heads. Disney movies can, like, have messed with our heads for decades. And so what I'm saying is, like, you need to tell a story. And the story is these people who are polar opposite, and one falls in love with the other, and does he get her in the end? Yes, he does. So that's the story, right? In real life, though...
it was a fun romp.
Yeah, for the first half. But in real life, you don't want to get hung up on someone, is what I'm trying to emphasize. It's just a movie. You want to move on. Find someone else, because more than likely, like, it's statistically not in your favor. Generally speaking, when you get friend zoned, you are there forever, and there's no getting out, and there's no point in staying there. You'll meet someone else. There's 1 billion people in India. Surely you can meet someone else. Like, surely you can meet someone else. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
There's a lot of fish in the sea, as they say.
Yes, exactly. But happily, it worked out for MANU and TANU.
Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that nonsensical conversation. Well, nonsensical from this side, because ACHARA knows everything. And subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon. All notifications are pretty. Please vote this up to let YouTube know you enjoyed what you watched. If you're watching this on Patreon, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube memberships, thanks for joining the memberships. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.